Hello and welcome to the Acting Coach Network podcast. I'm your host, Savannah Madden, acting coach, award-winning theatre school owner and business coach for performing arts professionals, tutors and small business owners who want to grow their businesses with confidence, resilience and to step into their CEO mindset without burning out. Today's guest is an absolute powerhouse. Business mentor and class-based industry expert Krissy Monaghan. Krissy has spent more than a decade shaping the children's activity sector through her work as a franchisee, franchisor and consultant. She now supports class-based business owners to grow with confidence, and she has just launched something very exciting for the industry. We discuss her journey, her shift into class-based mentoring and her passion for helping business owners grow in a sustainable way. She's also stepping into her awards era with an exciting new vision launching next year, bringing fresh industry recognition and high standards across the sector. While she has experience in franchising, licensing and online expansion, she is moving beyond that label and now focuses on strategic growth, leadership and purposeful scaling. She supports business owners in building the right model for them, creating powerful systems, elevating their brand and leading with purpose. I'm so excited for this conversation. You're going to get so much value from the way she thinks about growth, impact and building a business that truly works for you. Krissy Monaghan, welcome to the Acting Coach Network podcast.
Hello, Savannah. Wow, I am so impressed with my intro. It's so good. I'm going to use exactly those words. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Well, all of it is true. I just love doing my research on my guests, but obviously we've been working together for a little over a year now. If people haven't heard of you before or don't know you, can you take us back to the beginning and tell us how you first stepped into the children's activity world in, was it 2013?
Yeah. So basically, like most people that fall into the children's activity sector, I had my first child. I was living in London. I was a director of a charity. Before that, I was in sports development for a long period of time. After having my first child, I wasn't going to go back to work. We then moved to the Isle of Skye, here up on the west coast of Scotland. And I was figuring out what my next step was going to be, like what was I going to do? And I really did actually just fall into the children's activity space, literally as a customer. We moved back to the Midlands due to obviously needing to earn some money. And I started attending baby classes with my youngest daughter, Bronwyn. And I absolutely just loved, there was just a whole new world. I didn't even know that it actually existed. And I used to attend a class called Make a Mess. That's what it was called. It was based in Stratford. And then the owner of that business went on to franchise the business. And I became one of the first franchisees. And now it's known as Mess Around. And that's literally what happened. I fell into the sector, doors opened, and I was like, I could do this. This is what I'm going to be doing for the next 5 years while I figure out what I'm going to do in the future.
Amazing. And so then how did it progress from there? Where did you, once you had got your franchise, what sort of happened?
Well,
what were your next steps over the next sort of 10 years?
Right. Well, so basically, the day I signed my Mess Around contract to be a franchisee, I found out I was pregnant with my second child. So as you can imagine, I was literally like, what are we going to do? Like, I was going to have 2 children under the age of 2. But I was like, I'm not going to let it stop me because I wanted to build something of my own. One of the reasons I actually joined a franchise at the time, because I was more than capable of doing my own thing completely. But becoming a first-time mum, I obviously moved from a salary-based job into a whole completely different world, and I didn't really know anyone, and I lost a lot of my network. And so I really wanted to be part of a team. So I joined the franchise because I absolutely loved the business owner. I loved what she was trying to do, and I thought, yeah, I can do that. But then I found out I was pregnant, and I thought, right, I'm just gonna have to crack on. We're gonna have to just get on with delivering sessions and make it
so
work.
you, Krissy.
It's like, let's just crack on. And to be fair, the owner was absolutely amazing. She used to come down to sessions with me in Stratford upon Avon. Obviously, when I was getting bigger, she'd help me set up. She'd come and help me clean up at the end of the day. But at the time, the sessions were a lot smaller. Like, we literally ran like 4 tough trays, a bit of paintball, and a funnel, which was like for water play. And we only used to take about 12 to 14 kids. So it was like very small scale, but loved what I did. But then we were going to move back to the Isle of Skye. So I asked the owner, can I take my franchise with me? And she was like, yeah, of course you can take it with you. And so we moved all the way back up. Literally 1 week after having my second daughter, we moved home. This is my partner. He's like, sure, let's go, we're going. Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I had 2 kids under the age of 2. And I was taking my business with me. Now, here up in the west coast of Scotland, there isn't obviously many big brands. There isn't many children's activities. It's more like play groups, and that's what you attend. I knew that weekly term time classes weren't going to work. That wasn't going to happen here. So I decided that I was just going to run like one-off events once a month, and I would just see what happened. And I literally did my first event here in Skye 6 weeks after giving birth. And so literally when we ran my first event, it looked like a patchwork quilt of like mess. But that day we had 60 parents with their children and grandparents that came. And I knew I was onto something. I knew that I was like, this is the way forward for me up here in Skye. And at the time, I was just getting on with my thing. And then the owner, the franchisor at the time, messaged me because she fell poorly and couldn't continue with the franchise. And she asked me if I would buy the business. Now, one of the reasons she asked me to buy the business was because I was always literally sending her messages going, oh, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, we should be doing this, oh, we should be doing this. And I was literally all the time on it. And she said that she felt that Mess Around would be in good hands if I took over. So literally the logical thinking, I have nothing to do for the next 5 years apart from bringing up 2 children. What else can I do that's going to be flexible, that will work around the children? Let me do this. Like, let's give it a go. And so I took over Mess Around Limited. At the time, I think it was like a team of about 4 or 5 of us, like a small team. They were mainly based down in the Midlands. And then I basically took it on and created the whole new format, which we went into event-based business. Okay, so that's what we moved away from term time, because in theory, if you run a messy play business, it takes as long to set up for 12 kids as it does for 40. So you might as well obviously go for the numbers. And literally, I knew that if we ran events, they would be a lot more profitable than obviously running just classes for 12 children, because you have an hour setup, hour delivery, hour clean down. So it's like 3 hours work, plus all the prep at home, plus all the cleaning down afterwards for a very small amount of profit. So that's why I was like, for this to actually work and grow, we needed to flip the whole business model. And so that's what we changed it into. After that, to get the brand off the ground, I literally went everywhere possible in Scotland. I went to Oban, Inverness, Elgin, over to Aberdeen. Like, I travelled around and literally got the brand off the ground. Spent a lot of time on the road promoting and trying to obviously sell off the back of it. Like, look, these are amazing events. Come and join our team. This is what we're building. And then when we moved back down to England, that's when we really invested heavily in the business. And we're like, right, now we're going to get this off the ground. And so by then I was already getting some traction. And then we started building the team once we moved back to the Midlands. And I did the exact same thing. I went on the tour every Saturday. I was in Worcester, Evesham, Birmingham, all over the place, delivering events and then recruiting off the back of it. This is before I discovered paid ads. As you do.
Were paid ads even a thing then?
They were. And I so wish I'd obviously when we started the paid ads journey, I wish I'd double the amount of investment I was putting in, because at the time when we were doing paid ads, leads were a lot cheaper and it was obviously a lot more traction than you can get now. But so I organically grew my franchise to start off with, and then we had a paid ad strategy, and obviously organic at the same time. But then I stopped delivering. I carried on delivering my franchise, But then we had a team obviously out there doing their thing. And then that enabled us to have that growth that we did over that period of time.
And so at what point did you realise that you wanted to support class-based business owners?
So my network, so over the time that I ran my franchise, I awarded over like 70 franchises. So I awarded that over 5 years. We had a team at maximum of around 40. This was pre-COVID. And I used to do so much work with the network in terms of training, providing marketing support, sales support, like the whole package, as they do with a franchise. And when I exited Mess Around, so I sold the business on to a franchisee. That's when I decided to move into like the online space. To be fair, like I always had this little thing. I used to go to like BFA events in Glasgow and stuff. I thought, well, I could do this. I could be a consultant. But then I used to also have the whole, well, who is she to say X, Y, and Z? And obviously you do get that with the old mind monkeys telling you what you can do and what you can't do. But when I decided I was going to create an online business, start consulting, start supporting people, originally I thought I would be working with just independents. I thought, oh, actually, I'll be just working with independents because franchisees get support from the franchise network and so forth. But it didn't turn out that way. It turned out that I was working with franchisors, franchisees, and independent business owners. And that's what I've been doing for this is 4 years. I think, next year will be my 5th year. So I've been doing it for 4 years. And literally, I didn't really marketing and sales always came really easy to me. And obviously, I used to train my team how to do it. And I had people in my team who didn't even use Facebook. They had no clue. Like, I literally this is what we do. This is how you do it. Train them. We get said results. So I knew whatever I could teach, I could apply it to any business. And that's been one of my strengths is you could actually plonk me in any business and I'd be able to sell, market it and sell it. I think that's one of my unique selling points. Yeah. And so ever since then, for the last 4 years, I've helped thousands of class-based business owners to market and sell themselves in a unique way by basically helping them build their personal brand, giving them the tools and the strategies in order to make sales in their business, but also what's relevant to the sector in terms of what they actually need to do. Because here's the thing, and this will be relevant for everyone. The online space is really, really noisy, and you can get told that you need to do X, Y, Z. You need to be doing this. You need to show up in 20,000 different places and stuff. But when you're running a micro business, you actually don't. You just need to do certain things in order to get traction. And so that's what I teach the class-based business owners when I work with them. Like, listen, they don't have the time or the money to be showing up everywhere. And so we need to give them the resources and what they do need to do so they can actually get the results they need without burning out, getting overwhelmed, juggling families, because that's predominantly what the sector is. They're juggling. And so giving them the right stuff and saying, this is what you need to do. Go out and do X, Y, and Z. They get results and then they get confidence. And then they're like, actually, I can do this. And then they go away and make more money, because that's been my aim all along. Help providers make more money so they can get to do what they love, which is teach and deliver classes.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And so it's very exciting because you've just launched the Class Business Academy, and that's in even more development. So what's the vision for this, and how does it tie into the work that you're already doing in the industry?
Yeah, so for this is the 4th year, I've been supporting children's activity business providers to start, grow and scale their businesses. I founded the Children's Activity Business Club, which is award-winning, to bring together a community of business owners who all want the same thing. They're striving for success and they want a community around them. And so we've now got an infrastructure in place that works really well for people that want to start their businesses. And then also we have a structure in place through people who want to scale their businesses through franchising, licensing and online programs. And I've just launched, and we're in the middle of training now, the Children's Activity Business Strategist course, which is CPD recognised. And so we've brought in a team of 20 people right now who are in training. And they are the people that we are going to deploy through the business club. So they will go and have a massive impact on other providers. And so I'm building basically an infrastructure to support children's activity providers so they can get the education and the training and the mentoring and making it accessible to all, because there's only one of me and I can't be everywhere. But by me building a whole team of strategists, it means that we now got people all over the place, all over the country that I can like signpost people to. So that's the first part of what we've built there. And then the second part now is to create a UK platform for the sector for class-based business owners. So I've been asked for years and years and years, like, when are you going to do your own awards? Or you should do your own awards. People have always said that to me, and I've always been like, no, I do that. It's not really what I'm here to do. And then the reason is because I've entered loads of awards. So obviously I've been through award application processes. I've been finalists for awards. I've been to the awards to collect the certificate, you know, like when you don't actually win, like, and I've won awards. So I've done all of that, and I've been judges for a number of awards as well. So I've seen the back end as well. So I see what comes in, how it all works. And so next year, I was like, right, I need to do something, because I'm all about at the minute leading with impact. I'm building legacy. I'm 50 years old, as I tell everyone all the time. I'm 50 years old, and I've probably only got about another 10 years left in me in terms of work. And I want to leave a legacy. Like, that's what I'm building. I want to build a legacy that I've made a difference to this sector. And so the next step is to create a platform that showcases the impact that class providers have on children and families and people that are running like adult classes. Because if you ask most people, they'll go to something. It's either their local gym class or their cycling class or sewing classes. And these guys are out there having a massive impact on the local community and the economy. And I want to start raising the profile of what we do. And so I looked at it all and thought, well, what's going to enable me to do that? And I thought, right, now's the time to host my own awards. Like, now's the time. This is the time to do it. So 2026, 10th of October, 2026, at the National Conference Centre in Birmingham, next to the Motorcycle Museum. The venue is absolutely huge. We have booked for the day. And the plan is to showcase the sector on that particular day. However, this is what I've been telling people, because at the minute we are working with lots of partners that we're bringing on board. The awards part for me is like the cherry on the cake. Like, that's the bit that everyone will see, the glitz and glamour that night. But what I'm doing is I'm going to be building a 12-month campaign, basically, where I'm going to have a year of storytelling, content creation, where I'm going to spotlight everybody in this process. So we're going to be interviewing the judges, we're going to interview the partners, we're going to spotlight when people start applying for the awards, we're going to pick people at random and we're going to interview them just like this to find out their story. We are then also going to interview every single finalist that gets through to the finals, which is going to be 100 people. So that's going to be a lot of interviews I'm going to be doing.
Wow, that is a lot of people.
And we're going to basically have a whole year of storytelling, PR, marketing, building those relationships, having this massive impact. And that one day is just the time when everyone comes together as in person. But it's the whole ripple effect is what I'm building. And so that's why I'm really excited about what's happening. Because when I was looking at creating this event, I didn't want it to just be like a one-off. Because there's lots of those types of events out there, which are just one-off. You apply, come for one day, and then you leave. I've been to them. They don't really mean anything. And I didn't want that. I want it to be something that's going to actually mean something to everybody that's involved and obviously on part of the journey with us as well. So yeah, really, really exciting.
Unbelievably exciting. So with these awards, Krissy, what is going to make a strong entry for you, and what are you looking for when people enter these awards?
Right. So one of the things that I really wanted to do with these awards is make them really focused around business. I have been through enough award processes and seen the back end of like when people are judging that like not everyone is measured on exactly what they have done. And so for me, I want to make sure that our awards process brings out all of the information that we need about the business owner and that they can evidence their growth. And the reason I say this is because you can have an award that's like Business Growth of the Year. And you can have one provider enter and they've done their best. However, if you're up against a £1 million business, you can't compete. And so they can't compete. So I don't want that. I want it to be based on actual results. They can demonstrate the growth they've done. They can demonstrate like the impact they've had. So they're going to have to really document everything. So we're not going for like fluff. Like, as you know, Savannah, I don't do fluff. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know exactly what you've done, what impact you have, and you've had the stats to back it all up. And so we're working right now with the amazing Emma Hewitt. So Emma Hewitt is an awards advisor, and Emma is working with me right now to make sure that that process is put in place, and that obviously we're asking the right questions and we're asking them to document it in the right way so we can pull out all that information so we can really spotlight people for actually what they've achieved and what they've actually done. And so that's what I want to have. In terms of the impact, I would just love people. I've always said to people, it doesn't matter if you don't win, your business will always win anyway. Because this is one of the reasons why I say to people, you should be applying for awards, because I've got like a trillion reasons why. But it's like your credibility, you can use it for PR, marketing, website, SEO, like the list goes on. And one of the things I want to do is to make sure that people realize that what they can use, like they can use it as a vehicle to bring in more sales, to get more visible. Like literally you can use it for so many different things. And so really what I want to do is have that impact that people realize, actually, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use it to explode onto different platforms, to position themselves as experts. And obviously then they can have that ripple effect and obviously have that recognition for the work they've done. But like I said, that part is just the cherry on the cake. I think the magic will come from the storytelling. I think the magic will come from talking to everybody about their business journeys. And I think me being able to share that with the audience, that they will see that they can do it too. And I've done this year because I've interviewed so many people about results that they've got from working with me. And I never tell them what I'm going to ask them. And when they tell me what they've done and they go, I made this amount of money and I was able to take my family on holiday. And so I think the magic will come and the ripple effect will come from me sharing stories of all these people, and then people believing that they can do it as well. And then they can go out and have that impact in their local community, because that's the way people will learn. Showcasing on the one night is going to be amazing, but it will be the whole storytelling year.
What would you say you wish more people understood about growing sustainably without losing their mission or burning out?
Well, one of the things I think that's helped me with my passion is you do need to have your why and you do need to have purpose. Like I've done things where if it doesn't align with you, you're not going to give it your all. And I have this conversation with people that are looking to franchise their business, because I'm saying that's the commitment that you need to give. Go and look at the big brands, because it takes that long to build a network up. And there's going to be days where you're going to be like, I don't want to do this. This is hard. This is a slog. But you've got to go back to, this is why I started it in the first place. And I also feel like you need to be aligned with what you want to do. And you've got to want to do it as well, because there's sometimes where you're just like, actually, that doesn't quite align with me. And you have to say no. So I think you need to get good at saying no to things that don't light you up, that don't give you joy, or literally I don't want to do it. And I did that for my first year in this business, as I call it, the sucking a lot of sweets year. You try out different things. You see what you enjoy. Do you like doing one-to-one? Do you like doing challenges? Do you like webinars? There's some things that you'll like and some things you don't like, and then you're like, actually, I'll take these bits that I want and these bits I don't want. And so you've got to suck a lot of sweets. And I also think the key to long-term success for me has always been, you've got to do the bleeding work. You have to do the work. You cannot get away from the fact that you've got to put the time in, the effort in, and actually take action. And one of the things I'm really strong on is people taking action.
your favourite saying is just take action. Messy action is better than no action. And I love it. I've mentioned that a few times on this podcast.
It totally is like taking action, like consistently. Consistency
Absolutely.
always wins. Like, so I know, like, if I'm consistent at something, like, so for example, like last year, and like, there's some things that I'm not, and I'll tell you why. So last year I was going to do TikTok. So I was like, right, I'm going to be consistently showing up on TikTok. I don't like TikTok. I like TikTok as a consumer, but I don't want to create content on TikTok. I don't think that's not my bag. We'll create long form content. I like this type of content, and I'll take snippets. The whole like bits and bobs, not for me. And so I couldn't keep up with it. I tried for about 2 weeks. I was like, no, I don't really like this. So then I was like, I'm not going to do it. And that's the way it is. But if you're consistently like, oh, I'm going to consistently show up on Facebook, show up in my email, I'm going to consistently do that, then it all compounds, and it just compounds and compounds and compounds. And for me, it's always been about structure, routine, consistently, and taking action. And I think if you can do those things and then right size it into routines, and I completely get it, because when I had the 2 girls and I was trying to mess around limited and doing the school runs and doing the nursery runs, like there was times you're having to fit things into blocks and small time gaps. It's hard. It's tough. And you have to be patient, because it might not be your time. Like, and I had that for a long time until the girls went to school, was when I could really put my foot down and actually do all the things that I wanted to do. But I couldn't do it before. I just had to put it in a notebook, park it to the side, and wait. And so, yeah, if you're looking to avoid like the burnout stage or just getting overwhelmed, if you can break it down into manageable tasks, into structure, routine, then that's how I work. And I'm also a big believer in, like, I love to exercise. I've got my own gym, get out in the fresh air. I always try and like have non-negotiables that like every morning I'm up and I'm in the gym. I've got to exercise, because if I don't, then I'm not like mentally ready for the day. And so I think you've got to take care of yourself as well.
Definitely. Great advice. And, you've been really open about the realities of running a high performance business, but what would you say has challenged you most this past year, and what has shaped you as a leader, and maybe what have you learned from that?
What you'll learn, so when I was running my franchise network, and again I say this to franchisors all the time, your network is expecting you to lead. Like, you can be in the class delivery and the delivery part for a period of time, but at some point, you've got to step out and be the CEO. You've got to be the leader of the business. They're looking for you to run into the fire. Like, if there's a problem, they want to know that you're there and that you're going to back them up. So in terms of that world, like, that I learned quite early on that I needed to lead. Like, I couldn't just like sit back. I had to take the control. I had to lead the team. There was difficult decisions I had to make. When you're exiting franchisees, like, it's not easy. Like, you've got to be resilient in that process. In this business, I think one of the biggest struggles that I see, and I can't, like, for me, I have to say, I think I've had growth every single year. Like, I've had an incredible year this year. So where other people, there's been like a tough market, I've had incredible growth. And I put it down to focus, like complete and utterly tunnel vision focus, and not getting distracted by shiny things. Like, and having to be like, no, unfollow, stop them being in my timeline. Because I feel like if you don't do that, then you start getting distracted by what other people are doing. You get comparinitis. Like, I don't follow anyone that doesn't inspire me, basically. So I literally don't follow any of my said competitors. I don't even know what they're doing. I just focus on me. And so I think in terms of overcoming challenges this year, I think the main thing for me has been to keep focus when other people are trying to distract you, basically trying to distract you from what you need to do. And that's why I've always believed, like, you just got to do the work, even though it's tough. Like, there's been times where, like, when I was writing my strategist course, I was like, oh my Lord, I've got to literally take all the information out of my head, put it into this course. I'm going back and forth with the CPD people. And it was like, that took over, 6 weeks to get that done. But I just had to do it. Like, you just have to go through the pain. So I think anyone that's facing challenges for me, it's just like looking at the focus and what you actually want to achieve. It goes back again to your mission, your why, your values, and what you're doing.
I think you've just answered my my next question, to be honest. I was going to say, for anyone listening who wants to step into a bigger version of themselves, and where should they start?
So what gets you to one place is not going to get you to the next. And I've learned that. If you always do what you've always done, you're going to get the same results. If you're striving as a business owner, depending on who's watching this online, that if you're striving to hit a certain financial figure or a certain growth point, like what gets you there is not going to get you to the next point. And so for you to step into the next era, you've got to come out of the comfort zone. You've got to look at what you've done. You've got to look at, right, actually, how am I going to get to that next point? Like, how am I going to do it? Do I need to grow my audience? Do I need to create more partnerships? What do I need to do in order to get me there? Because that's what I found. What gets you here doesn't get you there. And then when you get there, you're like, oh, actually, I need to get over here. Again, I always think it comes back your mission, vision, values, because it's what you actually want out of your business. Like some people want money, some people want flexibility, they want different parts of life. And I was sat last week actually at an event, and someone was like, money is their only motivator. And I was like, money doesn't motivate me. And it never has done. I like money and I want money to do the things that I want to do, but it doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is helping people. Money comes when you help other people and you serve them. So for me, if you're looking to think, right, what's 2026 going to bring for me? How am I going to shake things up? How am I going to get into my next era? I would look at, obviously, where do you want to be in the next few years' time? Like I said, I'm in a legacy mode. I want to be here. I want to be remembered. I want to have that impact. And then looking at what's going to enable me to do that? Is it that I need to talk on stages? Is it I need to create my own podcast? Is it that I'm going to grow my franchise network? I'm having conversations now, people that want to get 10, award 10 franchises over the next year. Okay, so what plan are you going to put in place to do that? So I think it's literally looking at where do you want to be, and then reverse engineering what is actually going to help you get to that next level. And who do you surround yourself with? Because I'm also a believer, as you know, you've been in my mastermind for the last year and you've been amazing. And it's always look up, never look down, because you want to be going towards the people that you're striving for, because they'll bring you with you. And so having the right people around you as well helps. Cannot have any negative Nellies, people telling you that you can't do stuff. You need to shed those people and surround yourself with people who believe anything is possible, because once you do that, your mindset starts shifting, you start seeing stuff, it opens your mind to more things, and then you're like, oh, actually that is possible for me as well. So yeah, that's what I would say about looking into the future. You just got to decide where you want to be and then make that decision to go for it, make a plan.
Yes, and be around people who are like fountains, not drains.
Yes, for sure.
Amazing. So you've given us loads of good advice, but I have got one very specific question for you, Krissy, that I ask everybody that comes on to the podcast. And if you could give just one piece of advice to a fellow business owner who's feeling a bit stuck or unsure at the moment, what would that be?
Get help. I honestly don't sit there trying to figure out this on your own. You go and there is enough people out there to help. People like you, Savannah, can help. I can help. There's just so many people out there that can help you. I just wouldn't sit there wasting time. So when I started my journey, like I said, I got from here to here. And I knew that for me to get to that next level, I needed audience growth. So what did I do? I went and spoke to my friend, Jess Brooks, who helped me scale Mess Around. She's absolutely amazing marketing person. I said, Jess, I need your help. I need you on board. I need to double my audience. And I need you to make it happen. And that was the first. I was straight to her. And that's what we did with the next one. Second one was, I need to sort out my sales. Okay. Because I've never worked in the online space. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I was figuring all this stuff out. So what did I do? I went to an event, Charlie Day, I've worked with for the last 2 years, absolutely amazing business owner, literally next level aspirations, and she will literally take you to those places. But I knew I needed to fix sales, and I know I needed to understand the online space. And so I was at an event. I took my business bestie, Jade, who is my VA ops manager. Jade, I've worked with for years with Mess Around. She is basically the BS detector. She is a skeptic about everything, so I can always rely on Jade. We're at this event. We're at Charlie's event, and Charlie's on stage talking, doing her thing. And she had a program at the time, which was her sales academy, which was a massive investment. And I said to Jade, and Jade looked at me and she went, "You need to join." And that's when I knew. I was like, okay, Jade's giving the seal of approval on it. You need to do that. She can help you. And that's why I say to people, don't wait to unpick stuff, because at the end of the day, you don't want to go for someone who's literally a gazillion miles away from you, because if they're earning £20 million, they can probably help you, but you're not there. You want to go for someone who is already doing the do. So the reason I decided to work with Charlie at the time was she was a children's activity provider, she was a franchisor, and she moved to online space. So logically for me, she'd already done the pathway, and I just needed to know how to get from here to here. And so that's what we've done for the last 2 years. And I'm now flying the nest and doing my own thing. But yeah, and now I'll be looking for the next thing. I'll be like, right, what do I need help next to get me to that next level? So for anyone that's listening, thinking, I'm stuck, I don't know where to get going, I need to get help from, just start following the people that you aspire to, that are ahead of you, who are doing what you want to do, and get in touch with them and get help, basically. That's the only way you can do it. You can figure it out on your own, but then you'll be there for another 10 years.
Exactly. Don't suffer in silence.
No.
So, Krissy, you've shared so much value. I said at the top of the episode that I knew it was going to be value packed. So thank you so much for everything that you've brought for us today. But where can we find you if we're not already following you or connected with you? Where do you hang out?
Right, so the best place to come and find me is on Facebook. I hang out on Facebook because I know Facebook inside out, and I can build audiences really fast and community. So you can come and find me under Krissy Monaghan Coach is actually the name of the page, or search Children's Activity Business Club. But come to that URL and then you'll be able to connect with me. I am on Instagram as well under the Children's Activity Business Club. But literally, as I always say to people, I ain't got a clue about Instagram, to be honest. I'm there, but it's not really where it lights me up. And that's why I say where you want to place your attention is where the magic happens. So build my community on Facebook, and I have a purpose what I use Instagram for. Yeah, come and connect, come and show up, say hello. I go live pretty much every week. We run lots of free events throughout the year, and there'll still be events happening next year that I'll be running, like online challenges, masterclasses, etc. And I'd love to connect. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, Krissy. It's been amazing chatting to you today.
Thank you so much for having me. Cannot wait to see where your journey takes you next year, Savannah.
Watch this space. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Acting Coach Network podcast. If you love what you heard, make sure you're following. And if you've got a moment, I'd love you to leave a quick review or share the episode with someone else in the industry who might just need it. You can find me on Instagram at the Acting Coach Network. And if you're looking for support to grow your coaching business or creative career with confidence, resilience, and without burning out, I'm offering 3-month one-to-one coaching programs where we can get to the bottom of what you need help with in your business. You can also find my latest free resource in the show notes. I'll be back soon with more real conversations, expert insights, and tools to help you build a business you love. Until next time, keep going, stay kind to yourself, and I'll see you soon.